Welcome to day 11, Effective Thinking, which is often indicative of your level of confidence. I am Sports Psych Mike. This is brought to you once again by P3 Performance. Basically, an effective approach to building confidence requires deliberately focusing your mind on certain thoughts and proactively controlling the way that you talk to yourself. I do feel a bit like a broken record. If I've said it once throughout this series, and I'll say it probably a million times more, it is a fact that successful people think differently. So let's talk about these successful people. They have belief systems, which we discussed yesterday in day 10 lesson, that support their success, and they actively work to manage their thought patterns. Actively work being the critical component here. They don't leave this to chance. Every athlete who's conditioned themselves mentally will have readily practiced methods or strategies that support effective thinking, or what we refer to as P3 thinking, which is actually from Dr. Robin Veely's research. Since we can't control others, which was in our day 9 lesson, it only makes sense that our focus should be on our thinking, on our self-talk. Confidence performers tend to think in a deliberate manner, so they tap into the growth mindset, direct their attention with deliberate practice, which can lead to an optimal performance mindset. Self-talk can be combined with the day 1 attention skills that you learn for motivation to improve gross and fine motor movements, meaning technical skills. A coach can also use persuasion to increase confidence of players with priming words, often referred to as growth mindset, enhancing an athlete's self-efficacy or their belief, and teach them how to use self-talk. It's quite the circle between all of these activities, right? Every single day is backed by science and is there for a reason, and we're starting to see the culmination of the day's build-up with today's activity. So today we're going to draw on the many of the activities you completed in this program. Day 8 exercise you completed for your strengths to develop ideal motivational self-talk, for developing certainty, which is basically confidence. However, we cannot have perfect self-talk all the time. It's just impossible. So today we're going to help you come up with that strategy for how to handle the times when your self-talk is ineffective or you're lacking confidence. Performances have consequences. Sometimes walking down the sidewalk or the hallway has consequences for some people. But high performers proactively prepare this self-talk for these higher pressure situations before they need it. Day 4, help you create your own refocus routines. Remember that. If you don't, go back. The AIR technique, aware, interrupt, and replace, can also be utilized for effective thinking as well. If you haven't covered the days that are listed on this slide, go back, listen, watch the videos, and do the activities, because it's going to be important for the rest of this lesson. All right, so again, to recap, P3 thinking is a mental training tool that focuses on the unique of our self-talk, the internal dialogue or the cognitive awareness that we bring every day. Some of it we might not even be conscious of, so it can either be purposeful, productive, or positive, the P3, or not. The not is likely to be characterized by more random thoughts, that you're reacting to your environment, and restrictive in both the range and the usefulness of your thoughts. So hopefully you've been tracking your TAP, your thoughts affect your performance, and have identified patterns from day 5. Yes, go back if you haven't done it, which we can use to alert your attention for integrating the refocus routines and replacement techniques to enhance your confidence through more effective self-talk. All right, so now that you've identified the pattern or patterns where you're not performing to your expectations, and there's almost always pretty common patterns to the individual, you'll see a pattern with your ineffective thinking, areas where your confidence may tend to lapse. So let's create a strategy for taking control back of your self-talk. We don't want to leave this to chance, people, or hope. We might have the right thoughts. We don't want to allow a situation, a mistake, a person to dictate our self-talk, which may lead to self-limiting beliefs or I can't attitudes or feelings of apathy or periods of inaction, because why should I try if I'm never going to be successful? Why should I continue to practice hard if I'm never going to start? The coach hates me, or the weather's horrible, or I just don't feel like it today, or My boyfriend or girlfriend may be mad, so I'm not going to practice, etc., etc., etc. So when that effective thinking occurs, we want you to write down a corresponding thought that's going to be more effective. So you can see the replacement worksheet here. No one is immune to negative thoughts. We all get them. But again, people that engage in effective thinking are going to be less likely to allow other things, those things outside of the day, the controllables day. Those kinds of things aren't going to have as great an influence on us if we are secure in being able to have an effective replacement or refocus routine. All right, so here are a few examples of effective, I don't really like the word positive that's up there, but effective thought replacement. So for example, if you're telling yourself, I'm not going to be able to do this because I've never done it before, instead, you know what, this is an opportunity to learn something new. Or I'm too lazy to get this done. Well, just smack yourself because I don't even like that one. No one bothers to communicate with me. I'll see if I can open the channels of communication. So what am I doing? What am I going to reflect on for myself to be able to make this happen? I'm awesome at this. I'm on the right track. I'm not good at this. What am I missing? I just want to quit. I want to give up. So you can replace that with, I'll use some of the strategies that we've learned here today, and eventually I'm going to make this happen. Or this is just too hard, I'm going to quit. It may take some time and effort on my part, but if I want it bad enough, I'm going to make it happen. So you can see, you just want to replace the ineffective thoughts that are going on in your head with more effective ones. And you're going to start to identify those patterns. And maybe in the beginning, you just need to carry around a notebook and jot things down, or a piece of paper dedicated in your notebook that you can jot these things down, because you'll start to see the patterns, whether it's in school, whether it's in the morning. A lot of times ineffective self-talk happens right when we lay down and go to bed. So capture the time too, but identify those patterns, and let's come up with a strategy so you can knock out the ineffective talk and you can replace it with more effective self-talk. All right. So listen to the end of this, but get started. Break out a piece of paper right now. If you haven't done the other days that was mentioned before, 3 slides before, go back and complete those activities, and let's start putting it all together now. Want to know more? All right. There are already a few videos up on Facebook. As I have mentioned, we're loading more every day. You can get your mental skills workbook at sportspsychmike.com on Facebook, where you can find worksheets for understanding these skills and much, much more. Check us out on p3perf.com. Feel free to email me directly if you want, Mike at Sports Psych Mike. Thank you, and hope you have a wonderful day. Knock out those ineffective thoughts.